What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel Hand Waving. Your friend Naruto Addict 2.0 is here again with a brand new Naruto fanfic that's going to change everything. A story where Naruto is betrayed and banished. But destiny has bigger plans for him. From exile to emperor, this is the journey of power, strategy, and love. Today's fanfic is titled, What If Naruto Became the Dark Hokage After the Chunin Exams? Part 2. It had been one long month and Kurama Uzumaki, formerly known as Naruto Uzumaki, was practicing with his new sensei Anko. At the time he was learning how to perform many hidden shadow snake hands, but now he had only 2 minutes before getting the arena. Quickly he got there and Sarutobi began his speech. Though Sarutobi was told that Otogakure was controlled by Orochimaru by one of Jiraiya's spies, he soon discovered that the Hokage was a woman. Meanwhile the Hokage also sat with him. Outside Konoha. Alright, you know what to do. When Kabuto activates the Genjutsu, you too will perform your objectives while Gaara activates his Shukaku form. Yes sir, Temari and Kankuro said. HMPH, was Gaara's only response. Meanwhile I will attack the left wall with the tri-headed snake and Manda. Meanwhile Kushina wearing the Hokage robes will attack Sarutobi till I get there. Unless she kills him, after that she will go and find her son Kurama. Be ready for anything. Even you. Gaara. Kurama is the host of the Nine Tails, and while Kushina has given us information on the tailed beast's abilities, we still are unaware of the boy's abilities, said Orochimaru. Trust me, if you think I am scary then Kurama is a nightmare, said Gaara, freaking them out. What? His siblings gasped. The anger in his eyes, his hate, no wonder he's so powerful. His hate drives him forward. He says that the Biju that lives within him fathered him when he was child. He told me he does not tell anybody this information other than the ones he trusts. I really hope I do not fight him, because even I, Gaara of the Sand, am scared of his abilities, making Temari and Kankuro shudder. Gaara, stop scaring you teammates and get into your positions. They nod as they shushan out of sight. Kurama stood with the other contestants. Sarutobi had finished his speech and now the first match began. Kuramaru Uzumaki vs Neji Hyuga. Kuramaru grinned at this. He was hoping to get revenge on Hinata's beating during the prelims. The blonde-haired Uzumaki stood at the right end while the girl-beating pile of shit known as Neji Hyuga was on the left. Hi. Instantly the two were at each other. Neji dived in with already activated by a Kugan, but Kurama dodged the attack. He combined his hand and meshed his figures together, so he could slam them into the back of the vaulting Hyuga, slamming him to the ground. He grabbed the Hyuga leg before slamming him into the ground. How could this be? I saw you when you were at the academy. You were so weak. How are you so strong? I was always strong. I just hit it. I went through so much pain as child. I think only Gaara and Hinata could understand my pain. What pain? Hinata is of the main branch. She'll away be considered superior, snarled Neji. Wrong. Everyone in her clan treats her like shit. They don't see a strong and nice person, they see a weakling, and it hurts Hinata when they look at her like the way they did to me. Trust me, I've had those stares, those cold and hate-filled stares. At that moment Kushina was trembling in rage. She wanted to destroy the entire village, but she released her rage and calmed before her hidden power was released. And how would you know it's like to be me? What about me? Her clan treats me like shit too. I've been marked with a mark that has forever sealed my fate. How would you know what it like to be marked with a fate you are unwilling to accept? He said before revealing his cursed mark on his forehead. Oh wow. He started to laugh. You think you're the only cursed with a mark? How about this one? I was marked with a demonic mark and turned into a demon. But was that my fault? No, because the man I considered my brother tried to kill me. Gaara's eyes widened. You have no idea to be called something so many times that eventually you become it. I wasn't a demon, but the demon that was encased in my body chakra warped my body. I don't want to be a demon or hated, yet here I am a demon and hated. Oh Kurama-kun, I won't let this village hurt you anymore. Once mommy can hold you again, I will never let you get hurt like that, though Kushina. Kuramaru-kun, Hinata sobbed. Why are you crying for him? He's a demon, he should die, said a stern male voice. Hinata turned around to see Kakashi. How could you say that? Simple, he's a monster, he should be killed. You bastard, yelled Hinata, but Haku stopped her from doing anything rash. Hinata, if you threaten him you be put into prison and never see Kurama again. Fine, but trust me Kakashi, I hate you. I hate your personality. I hate your patheticness, and I hate the fact that you hate Kurama-kun, and I want to kill you. She said before leaving. Why doesn't she see Naruto as a threat, and why does she kill him? Kurama? He paused, then his eyes widened. Naruto knows what happened on the night of his birth. About the kidnapping and the orchestrated attack, damn it. I wonder if he knows what happened to Kushina. Meanwhile in the stadium everyone was half horrified and half sad. Some were horrified at the village's behavior to him, others were scared of him as he claimed to be a demon. However, Neji was the most scared. Unlike the watchers, he could see the Uzumaki's chakra, and unlike the normal blue color, it was red, a thick crimson blood like scarlet red. The demonic presence he saw wasn't the only thing that scared him. First was the bizarre additional chakra complex on his forehead and shoulder, but also the seal complex on his stomach. What are you? He stumbled. You're not even a demon. No, you're something more, and it horrifies me to see your foul chakra, he said, mortified. You hurt her. What? Hinata, you hurt her. I won't let you hurt her. The air you talking about? Suddenly a pair of tentacles with fox-like faces appeared on each of them as they stemmed from Kurama's back. They lunged towards Neji, but he dodged them. He jumped over them as they tried to perform a second attack, but suddenly he felt a jabbing pain. It was then he found a tentacle that had erupted from the ground latched on his spine. His horrified face said it all. Then the next thing he felt was his spine being ripped out with his skull out from his ass. Killing him, the core was spilling blood out from his mouth, organs were dangling out from his, and the spin was red covered with blood. Winner Naruto Uzumaki, said the afraid Hyatt. The young blonde Uzumaki left without a word as his red chakra seeped back into his body. The watchers looked upon the young blonde with remorse, hate, horror, sadness, fear, pity, and finally disdain. Sasuke Uchiha versus Kankuro. Yeah, was all Sasuke could say as he passed Kurama scared shitless. Hey, this is gonna be interesting, Kankuro said as he turned to Temari and nodded, who turned to Kabuto and nodded. The pair were standing when Hyatt said hi. Everything was a blur, a Chidori there, a disguised puppet here. Either way, the pair were fighting each other at a rapid and rather entertaining pace. Still, they were now at a stalemate. Sasuke had been poisoned with a deadly poison designed by Chio. Only Kankuro had the vaccine, and if Sasuke didn't surrender he would die. However, the proud or arrogant Uchiha decided he wasn't going to do that. He was going to take the vaccine and win. However, fate was not on his side. Kankuro had just summoned 2 more of his deadly puppets, and trust me, the last Uchiha was having a problem fighting 1, let alone 2. Now the young Uchiha had to give up or die. However, the incredibly aggressive or stupid Uchiha had continued to fight. Though the poison was taking his toll on his body, it was becoming limp, and his stomach and head began to hurt. His body started internal bleeding, but it wasn't so bad to be life-threatening. It was too late. All that adrenaline had circulated the venom, and now the young Uchiha, because of his arrogance, was unable to win. He was forced to surrender to Sakura and Ino's dismay. Winner. Kankuro, declared the proctor. The audience was stunned. The prodigies of the Konoha were both beaten easily by freaks. One was the Uzumaki heir and now widely known demon, and the other, while the son of Hokage, he didn't look much. Everyone was expecting Gaara to be more powerful than Kankuro, even if he secretly wasn't the biological son of the Hokage. Afterwards, Sasuke was treated by Anbu for his internal bleeding using a highly powerful healing jutsu. Ah, then it's time, smiled Kabuto inside his mask, before casting his genjutsu, putting the crowd to sleep. What? Gasped the Hokage. I am feeling yawn tired, said a sleepy Hinata. Wait, Kai, Haku said as she casted the genjutsu for her and Hinata. I am all perky now, but it was genjutsu that Anbu is putting the crowd to sleep. Look, Temari and Kankuro, they're disappearing along with Gaara. Why would they do that? She stopped when she connected the dots. Meanwhile, in the cage box, Sarutobi was shocked when the 2 other Kage turned him. The female purple-wearing Hokage and the green-wearing Kage began to fight him. He dodged their blows and ran to the roof, which was perfect. The Hokage got the sound 4 to create a barrier. Now Sarutobi was trapped and was facing off against 2 powerful Kage. Finally revenge is within our grasp, said the smiling Hokage to the smug Kage. I must ask, who you are? Asked Sarutobi. My Sarutobi, have gotten forgetful? Well then allow me to show who I really am, she said as she ripped the veil over her face, revealing the face of Kushina Uzumaki. What? He gasped. Why what? Why did you leave Naruto? Who? Kushina. Naruto, your son. I only have 2 sons and neither of them have that name. How can you say that? You left Naruto to fend for himself and now you pretend like he doesn't exist. Don't you understand Minato died placing the 9 tails inside him? Wait. She paused. You mean Kurama? Huh? Said the confused Sarutobi. I've figured out my child is named Kurama, you must have named him Naruto. Well, none of us knew what you were gonna call him, so we named him Naruto after Jiraiya's book at the time. But why have you called him Kurama? Correction, I called him Kuramamaru after the 9-tailed fox that lives in him and me. In you. Yes, when Minato attempted to control the 9 tails, he split it in half. I absorbed the other half and once again became a host of the 9 tails, but this time it was different. This time I died. What? I was mortally wounded and then I bleed out, that's when I died. Luckily Orochimaru was hoping to gain information on the current situation and then he found me. It took 4 weeks for me to recover. Most people would have died or been hospitalized for at least 3 months, but of course my Uzumaki vitality allowed me to recover faster. When I woke, Orochimaru told me about what had happened and that there was a blood barrier around the Konoha set up by Kakashi, not allowing me to get in or out. However, when Kurama had his mission in the wave, the barrier was shut off because Kurama was genetically recognized as me by the barrier trapping him. I was able to slip in. Why? He paused, his hat shading over his eyes. Why would you work for scum like Orochimaru? Why would you be friends with scum like Danzo? What? Questions the confused. It was him. She paused as she clenched her fists. It was him who made me suffer. It was him that took me to Orochimaru. 13 years earlier. Haha, I've got it, said Kushina as she grabbed the red chain and drove into her stomach. No, yelled Minato. He watched as the chain representing the Kyuubi's chakra was absorbed into her body and fell back dead. Damn it, he roared, and now this is it. I am going to die because I had to use dead demon, he said, calming down, but pissed off. He felt his chakra been eaten away by the Shinigami as his chakra fell to 0. 2 hours later. It seems that he died from chakra exhaustion, said Jiraiya grimly, though we don't know where Kushina is. Maybe she was killed in the rampage, he suggested, making the old man's skin crawl. Anbu. In poof to Anbu appeared. Yes sir. Find Kushina Uzumaki and if she is injured take her to the hospital. He paused. If not, take her to my office. Meanwhile in Danzo's office. Ah, good, so you have captured Kushina Uzumaki. Fantastic, we will have to get rid of her if I wish to make her son a member of my root. Anbu. Tut tut Danzo, I do not understand why you are so hasty to get rid of such a interesting subject, said a snake-like and slimy voice as a man appeared behind him. The man wore some sort of brownish clothing and a purple rope-like belt. He had white skin and golden eyes with unnatural slits in them, along with long black hair that made him look like Michael Jackson or Ozzy Osbourne. P.S. Ozzy Osbourne's a badass. Ah, Orochimaru, so you've arrived. I have the documents I believe have brought the child with the Kekkei Genkai. Orochimaru nodded as he grinned. Well then, I am guessing you interested with this red-haired woman here from previous statement. Orochimaru's grin enlarged after he said so. Well, I guess you can take her for your experiment and need to get rid of her for my plans, so do what you wish. Thank you indeed. I hope to conduct research on Uzumaki clan vitality, he said before nodding and disappearing into the shadows of Danzo's office with Kushina over his shoulders. 4 hours later. It had been 4 hours, but now the snake Sanin had left the village with his 2 accomplices, 2 Otogakur nins, and were now coming up close to rice paddy country. They had stopped to make a camp and treat Kushina's wounds a second time. After 3 minutes of healing and an injection, she woke up. Where am I? Huh, she paused, then her eyes widened as she identified the headbands. Ah, she repeated, terrified. Hold on Kushina, we don't want to hurt you. Bullshit, your sound nins, you're probably gonna use me as breeding material or something like those Kumo bastards. What? One of them gasped. Look, we don't want to harm you. Our cage wishes to speak with you alone. Oh, okay, it's not like I've got any choice. They nodded and left the tent. Then the infamous snake Sanin Orochimaru appears with his Hokage robe on. Wait, holy. She gasped. You're the Hokage? He nodded. Then why are you here? I am sure that you have better things to do than kidnap me. Kidnap? He questioned. Yeah, didn't you kidnap me for one of your experiments? Well, first Danzo gave you to me as payment for giving him a user of a Kekkei Genkai. What, Konoha wouldn't do that? Really? I heard they used your son to imprison the yin half of the Kyuubi no Yoko. He questioned, making her eyes widened. My son, where is he? Where's Kuramaru? She gasped. I need to find him, she yelled as she tried to get up. Calm down, the fact of the matter is that your husband has just tried to kill you and that the village will probably attack you when you get there. Danzo said that he was going to get your son into his root Anbu, however I have made sure that I will have a spy in there to prevent the indoctrination of your son. However, I have discovered that Kakashi Hatake has created a blood barrier no longer allowing anyone of the Uzumaki clan out or in. Until someone from your clan tries to enter or Naruto's first outside ninja mission is started, it will be active, or if Kakashi dies. So I won't be able to see my son. Pretty much. Then what do you want me for? You said that Danzo is supplying you with information and that you had spies, so I can't give you any more. You can't use me as a hostage, seeing as I would be killed anyway, and only other thing I can think of is being an object of your experiment, she said. Expected an evil grin from the snake Sanin that was towing over her. She got a legitimate smile in return. Akashina, how you are a surprise. You're smart, but do not listen to all the tales they tell you in the Leaf Village. However, the fact of the matter is that I am dying, Kushina, and I need to have an apprentice. Wait, you want me? Why on earth would you want me? I've only had 3 A ranks and no S ranks, my chakra control is terrible. First, Kushina, you're a Uzumaki, you have incredible vitality. Second, you have too much chakra, that's why you have really bad chakra control. Third, you have your yellow chakra, and fourth, you have greatest advantage, you are the host of the young half of the Kyuubi. Wait, I can't be. It was. Memories flashed into her mind. Taken. She paused. Out. Indeed it was, but you pulled it back into your body and then you died. What? She yelled. However, with a rare defibrillator jutsu we were able to restart your heart before fixing your wounds and healing your injuries with standard healing jutsu. Anyway, what I am proposing is that when I inevitably destroy Konoha, I will help you find your son. She had to think about, but it was actually pretty easy. She had 3 options. She could disappear, though she might have been killed by the Oto Nins. Go back to Konoha and get killed, or she could become strong and reclaim her son. Suffice to say, it was pretty easy. She was going to become stronger to find her son. Yes, what else am I supposed to do? Get killed or forget about him? Never. I am gonna become stronger so I can save my son from that disgusting place, making Orochimaru grin. Well then, Kushina-chan, I guess we better get to the Otogakure. Once there I shall gift you will enormous strength. 13 years later. I see. Well, Kushina, I can. Shut your mouth, you piece of shit. It's not only the fact I was forced to abandon my son, but the fact that you kept him back. You stopped him from leering. If it wasn't for the Kyuubi, my son would probably be talentless. You're wrong. Making Kushina eyes scowl, Enko Mitarashi had become his sensei. Really? She gasped. No doubt she was happy that he had already been taught by the ways of the snake by the young purple-haired Kunoichi. Along with the fact that she didn't have to kill her. That's good, then I won't have to kill off my old squad member and student. She paused, smiling. However, I still have to kill you. I swore that will burn this town to the ground. She once again paused, for Orochimaru-sama. Is anything wrong with him? Questioned Sarutobi. He's dying of an incurable illness, making Sarutobi eye widen ever so slightly. I see. Still, I can't let you destroy the village. I won't let you if it kills me. There are so many young souls here. Kurama with Anko, Kakashi with Sasuke, Kurenai with Sakura, Guy with Rock Lee, Hiruzen with Tsunade, Orochimaru and Jiraiya flashed into his mind. There are so many people with connections. Kakashi with Minato, him with his pupils, Anko and Kurama at the ramen bar, Makoto and Kushina, Anko and Orochimaru, and him with the first and second Hokage, I won't let those memories die, he said as he summoned Enma, which turned to a large pole and ran towards her. Especially from someone who was once a bright young soul, he yelled but whimpered out soul, as he smashed it on the ground, which she dodged the pathetic attack. But now you're as corrupt as much as Orochimaru. Yet you don't stop to think that your village made me this way, she said as she landed on her feet. Face it, Sarutobi, your village makes monsters like me, Orochimaru, me, Madara, Danzo, she paused, Kuramaru. What you call you son a monster? He yelled. Did it sound like it was a bad thing? She questioned. Being a demon was the best thing that happened to me. What, how can you say that? I am not the Jinchuriki of the Red Nine Tails, I am the host of the Dark Nine Tails, a dark, more evil version than his predecessor, only I have been the host of this demon's incredible power. I plan to reunite with my son and take him to Oto. There I will gift him with this power and together we will live the rest of our days as a family. Though, she paused, that Hyuga girl, she seems to be in love with him. I wonder if she would be willing to come with us. Don't you dare even think about corrupting her soul too. He yelled, frustrated about Kushina being so well evil. He never had thought that she would end up like this. And now she was not only working with Orochimaru, who had corrupted her, still oblivious that his prized village was responsible. And now she planned to corrupt Hinata. Actually, Sarutobi, I can tell already that she has already corrupted the bloodlust in her eyes. When my son off that other Hyuga, she began to laugh. I mean, that was family and she was happy. She continued, I can tell why my son has such an interest in that Hyuga girl. I can't say my son has bad taste in women when she is almost as sadistic as my son, she chuckled. You bitch, why have become like this? Why have you become such a heartless monster like Orochimaru? I don't understand. You've become so evil now. You want to pass down that evil to Naruto and Hinata and make them Oto nins. I don't get it. Because Sarutobi, all I want is to have my son back. It's been 13 years and now with the army I have confined, take him back and he can finally be given a chance not to be hated by the villagers. She paused. I am the host of the Gakido Kyuubi no Yoko and I will destroy Konoha. Meanwhile, at the south wall, Gaara of the Sand was currently fighting Haku. She had run to fight Gaara, while the others fought a group of thugs. While Sasuke had accompanied her, believing that without his Uchiha blood she would surely die. After defeating them, Kurama and Hinata decided to back up Haku. They didn't know why she was so keen to get to Gaara, but they soon found but it was bad. Strange markings covered half of Haku's body. They tried to attack but now Hinata was captured. Now Kurama was really pissed off. He felt his rage taking control as the seal began to glow and grow over his body, making his hair grow, eyes darken and a tattoo appear in his reddish flesh. You capture my friends, you hurt the ones I love, I am gonna kill you. Uzumaki Kuramaru. He paused. Interesting, your hatred manifested your powers differently to mine. Either way, it is my job to destroy your village. If I don't kill, then why do exist? Roared Gaara as his sand clinged to the side of his body. He threw his arm forward, causing sand to extend towards Kurama. Kurama dodged the attack as he jumped from tree to tree, dodging his blows. Kurama responded by creating two red chakra hands so he can perform Gakido Coffin. He stretched one of the hands to Gaara's body but he dodged it. However, another hand appeared that was hidden from behind him, that had hidden in the ground. As it erupted from behind him, it grabbed onto Gaara. You think I am a fool? Said Gaara as it became a sand clone. The sand whisked away to the real Gaara and made him go into his second form. Shit, that didn't do any good. The only thing I can come up with is using a fire technique to make his sand to glass, but he has a large gourd of sand to replace it. So using up the chakra wouldn't help. He paused. It's better than nothing, he said as he went. Though some hand seals, Grand Fireball Jutsu, yelled Kurama. He smirked at how pissed Sasuke was. The fire clashed with Gaara's sand-covered body and turned the arm into glass. However, it was only the outer layer. Gaara had snuck a set of heat-absorbing pads into his armor that the heat wouldn't be transferred to the rest of the sand and therefore wouldn't become glass. The glass cracked away and fell on the ground. Good, very good, Kuramaru Uzumaki. Very interesting. You're the first in a long time to be entertaining me this way. Finally I can meet someone that has at least sliver of a chance to defeat me, shouted Gaara, smiling his trademark psychopathic smile. Tell me, Gaara, I know we share the same pain, but I ask, what made you this? His eyes widened. Nobody had ever given the time to think why he was a monster. They just thought he was monster, but now the blonde-haired Uzumaki heir just asked him why. I am the host of One-Tailed Tanuki Spirit Shukaku. I was adopted at a young age by the Kage, my adoptive father. At first he didn't know, nor did I, but when he discovered his adoptive kindness disappeared. He put me through experiments and told his ninja to try and kill me. I never knew my mother, but a man named Yoshimaru was hired to fake being my uncle, but he tried to kill me. Eventually I fell into my realm of darkness. It was then he paused, I discovered the truth. My clan is your clan. Huh, said Kurama as his eyes widened. But that's not it. I am your half-brother. Kurama eyes widened as he fell on his ass. What does that mean? You're my mother's kid, or my dad's? Probably mom from the hair. Wait, then who's your dad? Gaara shrugs. I don't know. Apparently they thought a demon had with her in her sleep, because even she didn't know. She was forced out of the village and almost killed. They say she was there trying to learn new jutsu, but I was found out they were going to kill me. But then the One-Tails appeared. They planned to seal inside me the bastard demon child. But during the attack the demon used a tailed beast ball to destroy the village. After sealing him inside, the fire spread and killed all but one, who told the Chunin of my origins before dying. When my adoptive father found this out, he became cold and harsh to me and started to treat me bad. Eventually he had Yoshimaru try and kill me. That's when I snapped and became cold like you. Then why are we fighting? We're brothers. He jumped to Gaara's tree and stood in front of him. Suddenly a massive explosion happened, burning Gaara and knocking out Kurama. When he came to, he was watching Sasuke pounding on Gaara's face even after he was knocked out. Stop it, he screamed. Stop it, he's my brother, he's all I have left. So what? All I care about is getting stronger. He's a stinking sand nin. You bastard, I am gonna kill you. I'll like to see you try under all the rubble, causing Kurama to look up and see his legs crushed by a large tree. But to Sasuke's surprise he just smiled, and now to Sasuke's horror, watched as Kurama just pushed the tree of his legs with no groan or growls, and watched the 6 disjointed points click back into place, each time making a blood-chilling crunching sound before standing on his legs that just 10 seconds ago were crushed under a tree. What the air you? He stumbled. My name is Kuramamaru Uzumaki, and I am the son of the Kyuubi no Yoko, the nine-tailed fox. Immediately Sasuke was drenched in fear. This brat, this once feeble-looking and loud-mouthed brat, suddenly turned into the most fearsome bloodthirsty ninja Sasuke had ever seen, more than Gaara, Orochimaru and Zabuza put together in only 13 words. I am the son of the Kyuubi no Yoko, the nine-tailed fox. What, you can't be that obscured. Believe it, he said, smirking at all the times he used to say that line, but now laced with a sadistic and evil intent. Anyway, you better piss off before I'll have to punish you. Shut you up. I am an Avenger. I am gonna kill my brother, killed my family. And what are you doing killing my family? Making Sasuke eyes widen as he looked at the wounded Gaara. Suddenly he realized something. He was just like Itachi. Meanwhile Hinata was waking up, but she awoke. She was in the Hyuga mansion. She was confused. The last thing she remembered was being slammed into the tree by Gaara's sand arm. But now she was home. She walked to the door where the wrapped-up, almost mummified Neji lay. Hinata smirked, though she didn't realize it yet. She walked up to the front door. From here she could see everything: the large smoke stream bellowing from the hospital, the tri-headed snake spitting acid, the humongous fire that stretched from the town center where Ichiraku's was to the academy, the massive artillery fire from the forest, and the surprising loud sound of clashing kunai. That when she realized the sound of the kunai was nearby inside her own home. She ran upstairs where she saw her father fighting several Kumo nins and her sister Hanabi, who was unconscious on the floor in the corner of the room. She rushed to her little sister, sliding on her knees as she looked at her sister. She was knocked out, no bleeding or any signs of internal injuries. She spotted the large newly developed bruise on her shoulder. Instantly she knew that she had been knocked out like that. She then turned her attention to her father, who was fighting even more Kumo nins. She put together that they were taking the opportunity to gain the Byakugan. It made her sick to the stomach that her sister would be treated this way as mere breeding material, even more than herself being used as one. Arg, yelled the last Kumo nin as Hiashi closed his last chakra point, killing him. I am going to assist with preventing the invasion to continue. You stay here and guard your sister. Why? The branch member can do that. I wanna help. No, he said firmly. Why? 'Cause you're weak. Shut up, you bastard, screamed Hinata. Hiashi eyes widened. He never saw his daughter like this. All you see is up. A mistake. All you care about is replacing me with my little sister. Well, guess what? Ever since I started meeting up Kuramaru-kun, I've become more stronger than anyone. Might I remind you that boy just killed you, cousin? So you were probably trying to find a way for me to replace by him anyway, she retorted, making him freeze. Why did you get like this? Why? Her hair covered up most of her face. Because you selfish son of a bitch tried to destroy my skills. You dismissed me like I was nothing, like I was a lab rat, like I was expendable. I am your daughter. Shut up, you brat. Ever since you've started hanging out with the Uzumaki brat, you've become so aggressive. So what? It's not like if I was aggressive you'll care. You don't what you're talking about. Let's be honest here, Dad, saying her father's title insultingly. Ever since Mum died you never stepped up to the plate of caring. You thought that was Mum's job and that you could off up the village council. Shut up, you wench, he yelled as he lurched towards her with a bulled-up fist. Suddenly he was in the corner of the room. He had almost all but several chakra points closed. He looked up to see his daughter with her hand out with a red sphere of energy in her hand. Her body was surrounded by an aura of blue chakra before him. She put her hand out. Hirotama, she said before Hiashi was engulfed in a red and black blast of pure satanic chakra. She smirked at the bloody corpse that was Hiashi and left. She washed the blood of her clothes, got a new outfit consisting of a purple mesh vest, black hoodie, the same pants, and a pair of black sandals. She took Hanabi to the secret hideout and wrote a note saying the following. Dear reader, you are probably of the Hyuga clan. I recently placed my sister Hanabi here for safety as Kumo nins attempted to steal the Byakugan from my sister. My father attempted to stop them, but he was overpowered by an incredibly powerful foe. I escaped and came here. I hope my sister is safe here. I am now leaving to find my team and defend from the invasion. Hinata Hyuga. She smiled and left the hidden fortress to find Kurama. Sasuke stood there with his head in hands on his knees, realizing he was willing to kill a family to gain power just like his brother. Kurama stood over the sobbing Uchiha. Get a grip, but he continued to cry. Fine. Before anyone knew what had happened, Kurama had kicked Sasuke into a tree, causing him to be lodged into the tree. Two Jonin appeared and turned to him. Why did you do that? He was about to kill my newly discovered half-brother. Okay, we're gonna take him to the hospital and take the Suna Nin to interrogation center. Okay. And then join up with your team or Anther Scrad, which Kurama nodded to as he left. Suna Nin base. 2 minutes later. The base was quite, well, at least a majority at the command center was ablaze with several compromises to their plans. Ibiki watched as a 13-year-old with yellow hair and red eyes appeared. He had Gaara of the Sand slung over his back and his name was Kuramaru Uzumaki, formerly known as Naruto Uzumaki. He approached them and laid Gaara to the ground. What do you want? I want you to heal him. They looked shocked. Why? 'Cause he's my half-brother, making their eyes widen. Anyway, I want you to take care of him. I am gonna go find my team and do something small. He paused before smiling, but please can you retreat? I want to have a roof over my head by the end of the day, he joked as he left. Location of the tri-headed snake. Well done, destroy them all. Everything must burn, said Orochimaru to the hydra-like snake as it spat poison and acid at the shinobi defense as he made his way to the south wall before destroying it, letting more ninja in than just the interceptors. Wait, what's that? Said Orochimaru as he looked into the sky. Several steel spheres were rushing towards him and they were on fire. The steel orbs smashed into the incoming nins and the three-headed snake, causing them to be lodged in the second head's throat. Blood splattered against the ground. A roaring hiss could be heard. Damn, this is bad shit. Several more lodged their way into the other throats. I better leave before things get ugly, he said before leaving toward the Chunin Exams Stadium. Chunin Exams Stadium. At the moment Kushina was winning over Sarutobi while he had his monkey pole. She would either dodge the blows or attack and they were usually successful, so that wasn't good. Secondly, his monkey summons were useless as they could be poisoned by Kushina's snakes. And third, his chakra was running low, he could only think of using that jutsu. Well, then it comes down to this. Well, Kushina, I am glad you became a Kage before you died. Actually, Lord Orochimaru is the Hokage, making him raise an eyebrow. A woman with power like Kushina must have become a Kage by now either way, and second, I am not dying here today. Oh really, dead demon consuming seal. Suddenly the Shinigami appeared behind him. Marks appeared, inaudible chanting and murmurs were whispered while beads were being tossed around his left arm. Take this. The arm extended through Sarutobi gut and sped towards Kushina. Look out, said Orochimaru as he jumped in front. Kushina, the hand lunged into his stomach and began to rip out his chakra. Orochimaru-sama. Kushina gasped. Dang it, well at least I'll be able to take him out. He grunted as he pulled the chakra out of his body. After 15 minutes of struggling, Sarutobi had to sever his chakra supplies to his arms and die. He grunted as fell dead. Orochimaru-sama, are you all re? She stopped when she noticed the growing purple marks on his hands as they spread across them. Kushina-chan, we need to retreat with me injured and your chakra exhaustion. We're doomed. Though the Kage is alright, his forces are being slaughtered, so are Nin's. But I haven't found Kuramaru. We need to go. The Sound Force shield is weakening and their chakra is draining. We need to go. But what the point of staying? If we die, then Kurama will surely be orphaned. Look, once I find Tsunade and convince her to heal my arms, I am sure with them weakened we can crush them and find your son. She was almost crying, but she nodded as once again this bastard village separated her from her son as the shushed away. 2 days later. It had been 2 days since the invasion, but something was amiss. Sarutobi had died, but to Kurama's dismay he didn't care. Not one bit did he feel for the old fart. He thought that the old bastard didn't tell him who his parents were, nor that there was any remnant of his clan, or even the fact there was even a clan. Kurama, finally rid of the truth-suppressing Sarutobi, decided it was time to find what had happened to Kushina, his mother. It kept echoing in his head, the fact that woman said she was his mother. He began by looking in old documents and quickly found a family tree of the Uzumaki. At the top was a woman with red hair and a man with a silver grayish color. They had 2 sons and a daughter. The 2 sons were called Senji and Gonta, while the girl was named Mito. The 2 sons had their own families, but this Mito woman had 4 sons and 2 daughters. One of the daughters had a son and a daughter. The daughter was called Hosenka and she had an only daughter named Mito after her grandmother. The Mito had 2 sons. One went on to father a woman named Tsunade Senju. He continued to look at the other son. He fathered a couple more children which were Senju, but then one married another Uzumaki from the other brothers of the original Mito sons, and that's when he found a woman. Her name was Kushina Uzumaki. It said the child was raised in a ninja village named Uzushiogakure and was then taken to Konoha. The picture next to her implying a husband and son were covered in black ink and a classified mark. But Kurama still smirked. Now he knew what his mother really looked like in the flashback. His dad gave him. They were blurred, but now he knew what she looked like. Afterwards he decided to give Hinata a visit. Hinata watched Kurama approach her house and smiled at him before running up to him and giving him a big hug. Hey there, Hinata, said Kurama as he hugged her back. They had become quite accustomed to it. In fact, in the last couple of days the Konoha girls were gossiping about them being a couple, which to their surprise. Oh Kuramaru-kun, she said as she hugged her deeper. Hey, what's the matter? He paused. It's not because of your dad, is it? This time she looked up at him, but now she had devilish grin on. Holding him closer he hugged her back, smiling evilly. So then you did it? She nodded. Well done, my little Hina-chan, as he nuzzled her hair with his nose as she rubbed her face deeper into his chest. Thank you, Kuramaru-kun, you've made me stronger. Now that I've killed my father, I can finally protect you. And I will protect you, he smiled back. Otogakure. Ah! Orochimaru wailed in pain as Kabuto tried to operate Orochimaru's arms. Dang it, Orochimaru-sama, said Kushina, torn up by it. She didn't even get to see her sons. The only thing I can do, Lord Orochimaru, is find someone better, said Kabuto, who was unable to fix his hands. I've got it, said Kushina. What? Questioned Kabuto. I'll ask Tsunade, but before you say, what the hell are you on? I am going to talk to her first. She used to be my leader on my squad and I am related to her, so she'll be more inclined. We can use the resurrection jutsu to persuade her, causing Orochimaru to nod. Konoha. We have mission Kurama, said Anko. Really, what is it? I am looking forward to learning some news jutsu on the way, hopefully. Well, the mission to find the next Hokage. The council has decided to find Tsunade Senji. Kurama's eyes widened. Maybe he could ask her about his mom. Either way, he was looking forward to finding this woman. Anyway, I want to teach you a new technique. It's called the Cage Blade. Cool, what does it do? Watch and learn, kiddo. She put out her hand and began circulate chakra around her hand faster and faster and faster. Before the chakra was moving at speeds of 900 miles per minute. It was almost barely seen. The circulating chakra stemmed a dagger out from the front made of chakra, and the chakra circulated around her hand before pulled back and fired a missile of chakra towards a tree. The explosion devoured 8 trees. I can do more powerful technique than that. I know you can, but this a Swiss Army knives of techniques. You can place you infinite on it, increase you chakra storage and control. You can learn more jutsu similar to it faster and increase chakra circulation, and you can learn the upgraded forms, which include snake's skin, Gakido, and ultimate velocity forms, corrected Anko. Sickage, said Kurama. Anyway, we better go find this Tsunade woman, that the one they want. Sure, Kurama said as they left the gates and began to leave. But then Hinata arrived to see them of. Hey Kurama-kun. Hello there Hina-chan. Anko didn't miss a beat when she realized they were in love. Well, I just wanted to say goodbye and wish you luck. Thanks. Suddenly he felt her kiss his cheek, making him blush, while Anko was the verge of laughing at Kurama's shade of red. They soon left. Little did they know that the next time they would return they would be missing Nin. It had been 2 days since they started on their trek to find Tsunade. They had gotten wind about a woman known as the legendary Sucker. She followed the casinos from town to town. Some said she was accompanied by a woman often seen in black with a pig. This also fit the description of a woman called Shizune, who was said to be Tsunade's former lover, niece or something. Kuramaru, formerly known as Naruto Uzumaki, and Anko Mitarashi, his sensei, were looking for her under the order of the Konoha Council. However, while they searched, a snake-like darkness planed on finding the same woman. Ugh! Yelled Kurama. What is it, Kurama? Asked Anko. This velocity jutsu is so tough. I've done the first stage, but the second stage is hard. I can't seem to solidify the chakra into a dagger and keep it moving. Try thinking about keeping it spinning while tightening the chakra, she advised. Hey Kurama. Yeah, what is it, Pops? Though Kurama. Allow me to help with me inside. If you allow me access to your chakra, I could circulate the chakra for you while you create the dagger. I guess so. How do I give you control? Just let me worry about that. Okay. Now try it again. Kurama nodded and began to circulate the chakra and tighten the chakra. Suddenly the chakra began to circulate one way instead of the 2 ways he had been circulating. Oh, I see, but you could have told me, the Nine-Tails shrugged. Hey, you got it. Yeah, I just thought that my chakra was causing friction, so I made it go one way only. Finally, here the 3rd stage, you need to fire it. She paused, but we in middle of a city, so once we hit the road I teach you that bit. Okay. Smiled Kurama. Meanwhile, in town named Ginger Town, yes, I nicked this from DBZ. No, this is not a crossover. And certain Snake Sanin began to search for the Slug Princess of Konoha. So far he had a burning hot trail. He was following her quite closely, so closely she was right around the corner. Hello Tsunade-chan, he said to the Slug Sanin, making her freeze. The Slug Princess hands curled up in rage, but then when she turned around her rage stopped. Behind her were 3 individuals: Orochimaru, a silver-haired boy with round glasses, and woman wear a hat similar of that of a Akatsuki member covering her face. But how could she forget the woman? She was a member of the Uzumaki clan, an indirect relative of hers. She could tell because they were wearing almost identical outfits, except the instead of the green coat the other wore a red coat with the Uzumaki clan symbol on the back and on the left sleeve. Along with black trousers and a gray kimono-like top, she wore a Konoha headband with a scratch across it on her right arm. Orochimaru, what is it that you want? Oh Kukuku, Orochimaru teased. Come now Tsunade, all I need is from you to heal my arms. Why should I help you? Because I can bring those you lost back, causing Tsunade's eyes to widen. You mean Nawaki, Dan and Kushina? No, not Kushina. Why? Because she's not dead. The woman that was standing next to Orochimaru removed the hat, and before Tsunade was Kushina. However, she looked rather different other than what she used to wear. First was her more pale skin that looked almost as white as Orochimaru's, and to Tsunade's surprise, and to Jiraiya's happiness, had the size of Tsunade's. You can't be here, you died. Sarutobi told me you disappeared. Everyone expected you to be dead from the release of the Kyuubi. Tell me, Tsunade, where you in it? She said coldly, surprising Tsunade. In on what? Causing her to look up coldly. The separation between me and the Kyuubi in order for my husband to gain access to its chakra in my husband's secret attempt to control the Kyuubi and make my son a member of Root. Instantly Tsunade looked stunned. Hell, Shizune fell on her at the mere concept. No way, before he was born you allowed me to be his godmother. The problem was that Jiraiya said he was gonna adopt him after he finished up on a case he was looking at, but the damn bastard thought his work was more important and never got round to it when I asked the old fart whether I could adopt him. The old windbag said no, she said with a touch of snarl in her tone towards Sarutobi. Interesting. Think about my offer. If you come to Oto with us and heal my arms, I will resurrect the two you love and you can live with them with Kushina for the rest of your days in Oto. Think about my offer, he said as he, Kushina and Kabuto shushed away. Okay, we're out of the town and on our way to Ginger Town. So can I learn how to fire it? Kurama interrupted. Damn it, I was just about to get to that, said Enko as she smacked him across the back of the head. Anyway, he started as she brushed of the dirt on her lap. What you have to do is to charge the circulation at the top of your arm and quickly impulse it to the tip of the circulation. The impulse will fire and push the blade towards your target. However, you cannot fire it and use this jutsu as a Chidori-like attack. See what I mean when I say this jutsu is a Swiss Army knives? Kurama responded with a nod as he continued the training till they got to the next town where, unknown to him, his mother unwittingly will reunite. Ginger Town. Rosario Inn. Yes, that's a nod to Rosario Vampire. You can't be serious, Tsunade-sama, yelled Shizune. It's total disrespect to Nawaki and Dan. Just shut up, slammed Tsunade. Think about it, she said while crying. If you could see them again, what would you do? She paused. Shizune was about to talk. Don't lie to me, you wouldn't. It's because I have the choice as the reason you're telling me not to. Shizune's face fell to the floor knowing she was right as she watched Tsunade leave through the door of their inn room. Ginger Town High Street. Come on, Anko-sensei, let's go find some ramen, asked Kurama. You know we didn't come here to eat ramen, replied the agitated Anko. And what have you got in your bag that you bought from that stool? Red hair dye. Why? Splurted Anko. Because I found out my mom had red hair, so I decided to give this a go. Interesting enough. She paused. How do you know? I thought you were an orphan. I snuck into the Hokage's office, found a family tree and saw it. Oh yeah, and who your mom? Kushina Uzumaki. Instantly Anko fell on her. Are you okay? No. Your mum was my old sensei. But it thought Orochimaru was you old sensei. Well, he left when I was around 13, so I needed a replacement, and that ended up being your mother. Oh wow, can you tell me what kind of ninja was she? She was very much like you, very brattish, even if she was about 10 years older than you. She always ended her sentences with yano, and she was a sword master. Her fuinjutsu and kenjutsu was the greatest in the village. When she was younger, she told me she used to be known as the Red Hot Habanero, but later got the title the Uzumaki Devil. We were very close. She taught me the shadow blade. She made it when her husband couldn't teach her how to perform the Rasengan. So she decided to create the shadow blade. Ironically, her husband couldn't do her jutsu even if he was the fourth Hokage. She stopped and looked at Kurama and was expecting a surprised look, but he just shrugged. Hey, aren't you surprised the fourth Hokage is your dad? Oh, I always knew he was my biological father. Biological? She questioned. I kinda maybe got adopted by the Nine Tails, making her fall on her again after getting up and regaining her balance. What? She yelled. Hey, it's not my fault, my dad sealed the Nine Tails in me. So you're telling me you've been adopted by the demonic entity that almost destroyed our village? 13 years ago, he nodded. Cool. Wait, you're not gonna freak out, are you? I can't blame you for something that not your fault. She suddenly felt a hug. What are you doing? She yelped as she fell on, but for a third time. You're the first adult I've met that thinks that I am not a demon, he said, looking up at her after letting go. Well, thanks, but first, never do that again. I am your sensei, not your mum. He nodded. Second, she hugged him. If anything, I am your big sis, okay? I guess I have a family now, a highly bizarre and dysfunctional family, but at least I have one. He smiled at the purple-haired Kunoichi, who smiled back. Well, anyway, let's go in here for a bite to eat. I need some dango, said Anko, patting her stomach. And I'll have some ramen, said the brattish Kurama. Calm down, she said as they entered the bar. Hey, is that her? Pardon. Look over there, said Kurama, pointing to the blonde-haired slug princess sitting half-drunk of sake, sitting next to a black-clothed woman who was looking rather upset at the blonde. Yeah, yes it is, as she walked over to the woman's desk and sat herself in front of them, making the two women look at the purple-haired woman puzzled. Who are you? Anko Mitarashi. I've been asked by the Konoha Council to find you and ask if you wish to. No way, Tsunade interrupted. I am not going back that damn village. Why? It's too painful to be there, brings up too many memories. I see. Hey Anko-sensei. Kurama asked for Anko's attention as he got up onto the seat. Yeah, why is this lady gonna be Hokage anyway, making Tsunade freeze? Well, I was just getting to that. She looked nervously at Tsunade, then back to Kurama. You see, this woman is an incredibly skilled medic, and at ninjutsu she's one of the 3 legendary Sannin, the most powerful ninja in Konoha other than the Hokage. Really, I could probably beat her, said Kurama, unconvinced that she was really any good. Come on, you little brat, I'll fight right now outside, come on. The response she got was not what expected. Why, you're not worth my time, I've already beaten Orochimaru like a pulp, said Kurama, almost like it was a chore. You did what? Exclaimed all 3 of them. Remember, Anko, when I said that Hinata was bitten and got the curse seal from Orochimaru? After that I kicked his and made him retreat. Well, I don't care, the snake bastard was always a challenge for me, but I've improved, I can beat a brat like you, said Tsunade. Can you really? Fine then, let's go, he said as he left outside. The two faced each other down. Tsunade stood there in front of Kurama, who was rather smug. Kurama began to circulate the chakra in his right arm, creating a blue Chidori-like jutsu to appear in his hand. What, you taught him the shadow blade, and at such a young age? Take this, yelled Kurama as he fired the blue chakra missile at the slug princess. Holy shit, dang it, earth style. Earth wall shield, she yelled, creating an earth wall to block the attack while the missile hit it. The explosion was the only reason it broke, however it still knocked the slug Sannin back a good couple of meters. Haha, take that, roared Kurama while Anko and Shizune were stunned at the power Kurama was demonstrating. Damn it, you brat, she said as got up. Need a hand? Asked Kurama. Why should I need help getting up? Well, I was just being polite, he said, smirking. Jesus kid, you're only Chunin. Well, first, why would you think I am a Chunin? Because I am not. Suna attacked the village and killed the old fart during the exams, so I wasn't able to compete. Well, I did, but I didn't get promoted, rambled Kurama fastly. So you're Genin and you beat me? He nodded. The old fart's dead? He nodded. Suna attacked Konoha? He nodded. Interesting. She paused. Say, what's your name? Kurama Uzumaki Namikaze. He responded, making her fall on your ass. You're your Kushina's son. Yeah, so. Look, kid, this is really serious. She paused. Your mother is alive. She is. Both Anko and Kurama gasped. However, she abruptly said, she is working with Orochimaru. What? Anko gasped. Meanwhile, Kurama stood frozen. Memories of the woman named Q Uzumaki flashed into his head, the hinting from Orochimaru, the family tree, their appearance from Q and Kushina. He connected the dots and realized his mother was alive. Yes, it must be, Orochimaru said, so I didn't believe it, but then that Q woman attacked, she looked like her and said she was my mum, and the family tree and the stumbled to make sense, but Anko knew what he was talking about, and after calming the young Uzumaki, she explained what he meant to Tsunade, and right then and there she chose she was going to help Orochimaru so that Kurama could meet his mum. The next day Valley in Ginger Town. The two Sannin had both summoned their summons on Tsunade. Stood Tsunade and Shizune on the other Orochimaru and Kushina. So then Tsunade-chan, have you decided whether or not you real heal my arms? Yes, I have chosen. She paused. Yes, making Orochimaru smile. Well, Tsunade, the slug princess, has joined with the rouge snake Kukuku. I am not doing this for you, I am doing this for Kurama. I know who his mother is and I want to reunite him with his mother. You know where Kurama is, take me to him please, Kushina begged. Follow me. Tsunade-sama, please stop this. Shizune, I don't even want Dan and Nawaki back, it would hurt too much if they were brought back. All I want to do is bring Kushina and her son together. Shizune was stunned but was happy that her uncle's memory wasn't going to be tainted. You hear that, Orochimaru? He nodded. Rosario in. Hey, where is Ba-chan and Shizune? Said the tired Kurama to Anko, who was snacking on microwave dango. They said they chomp going om nom to fight Orochimaru, she said before swallowing the food in her mouth. What? Yelled Kurama as he ran out the door. Wait, Kurama, get back here, she yelled, but by the time she got her seat he, gone. What the hell, she could at least told me she was gonna fight Orochimaru. I've pwned him once and I'll kick his organ though. As he rushed to the valley outside Ginger Town, he could tell because, well, it wasn't hard to spot a giant slug and snake, not to mention all the talk. Valley. What the hell are you guys doing? Yelled Kurama as he got there. The four turned to him. Huh, Kuramamaru, who are you doing? Asked Manda. Wait, you knew where my son was the whole time? Yelled Kushina. Yes, but you didn't summon me, and don't say you did during the invasion because neither of you did. Kabuto did, and even then it outside the village so he could get better view of the battlefield, said the massive snake. Wait, is that you, mum? Asked Kurama to the woman who spoke to Manda. Instantly Kushina's eyes widened and she leapt to Kurama, landing on her feet and embraced him in a hug. I've missed you so much. She started to cry as she held. I am sorry I couldn't be there for you. I know what kind of pain the village did to you. You do. Well, I was the host of the Nine Tails, causing Kurama to fall over. I totally forgot about that, but mum, how did you survive? Well, she put one finger onto Kurama's forehead and it was explained to him. So then Orochimaru took you in and made you really powerful, Kunoichi, after Konoha betrayed you. She nodded. And you plan on taking me to Oto? She nodded again. Let me guess, you want to be with Hinata? Kurama looked up wide-eyed. How did you know? Well, also looked for happy memories and all I could find were memories of Hinata and, she stopped, Iruka, making Kurama eyes narrow, remembering all the times he and Iruka ate at the ramen store before he tried to kill him. It's okay, I have a plan to communicate with her and several other ninjas from that village and bring them to Oto, but to do that I need your help. Who are they? Hinata, Hyuga, Haku, and a girl named Hosenka and a boy named Ivigo. They all have Kekkei Genkei that while are valuable to our village and will give us an upper hand, they have all been hurt in their souls and we want to help with them on that. Also, I want to bring you to a home where you can be loved and not hated by the villagers. Oto is that home. The village is large and is growing in power every day. Even after our failed invasion, it is actually still growing. Not only that, but I am next in the line for the title of Otokage. As such, I am already known as the Blood Flash and feared outside the village. Blood Flash? I thought you were the Uzumaki demon. Well, it had to be changed for undercover reasons. I see. Hey, yelled the newly arrived Anko. Said Kushina, Kurama and Kurama. What going on, huh? She paused. Kushina, she gasped. She started to walk to her slowly before starting walk fastly. Why? She yelled at Kushina as she stood in front of them. Why did you fight me during the exams? I couldn't take it after you disappeared. I kept it to myself, but it hurt. I saw you like a mother. Why didn't you come back to the village? Why did you disappear? It's not like I had a choice. Konoha wanted to use my son as a root nin. If I returned, they would kill me or Kurama. I didn't want to risk it. Orochimaru had friends who would stop them from putting him in root. Anko eyes were full of rage, to the village. She was furious. She tightened grip to the point where blood was pouring out of her hand because her nails were digging into her own flesh. Whoa, Anko sensei, calm down, asked Kurama. I can't believe that the village would do something like this, separate a mother and a child so they could try and turn the child into a solitaire. I mean something like that, it's not even human, said the snake mistress. Well, I am gonna go to Odo with my mum, but what are going to do? She could come with us if she wanted, she said, even though she doubted it. Fine, I don't want to live in a village that will separate a mother from her child, it's disgusting, said Anko. And what about Tsunade? Asked Kurama. I am coming to heal Orochimaru's arms, I couldn't care less for that village, too many bad memories, and I just want to find a home that won't hurt my memories, she said before turning to Shizune. As long as Dan and Naoki's memories aren't tainted by Orochimaru's jutsu, I will follow Tsunade, she said. And with that they left with only Kurama and Anko to return to the village for their own mission. Otogakur. Kurama, Kushina, Orochimaru, Anko and Tsunade were walking through a forest as they came to a large gate. The massive gate had two kanji written on it for Sound Village. As the gates opened, the village could be seen. It had large metropolis-like buildings dotted around the place. Most of the buildings were similar to the ones found in Konoha, except you were more likely to see a purple than a orange, causing Kurama to be very happy about ditching his orange outfit for a black Chunin vest and shirt with cameo green pants. On the trip he had also dyed his hair red so he would be like a Uzumaki more than a Namikaze. They entered a large building. It was like the Cage offices in Konoha, expect you guessed it, the building was painted purple. The five entered Orochimaru's office, which in the middle had a desk and a chair. There were documents, scrolls, jars of liquids, each being a different color such as blue, red, yellow, orange, green, purple and a much more puke green, a large jar with a snake in some sort of liquid, various kunai and other sharpened weapons including shuriken, knives, daggers and a katana that was laid on its side against the table. The room had a second desk which had jars of other snakes including pythons, vipers and cobras were all placed in the jars. Each type were placed in a jar with the same liquid and were mutating into some sort of shark-like snake as gills and bone-like horns were growing out of the shedding skin. On the table were scrolls for Uzumaki clan Fuinjutsu, and there was many different documents and experiment plans on the table along with plans for a follow-up invasion in 3 years' time. So then this is the Otokage's office? Asked Kurama. Yes it is, I help Orochimaru when I am not on missions. Cool. Anyway, now that you are here I wish to place you in respective roles, Orochimaru said as 3 chairs were slung into the middle of the room by Orochimaru, who was using iron thread with his teeth. They all sat down. First, Tsunade, I wish that you will heal my arms. I am aware that you do not wish for me to resurrect Dan and Naoki as it would be a taint on the memory, is that correct? She nodded. Okay then, after you heal my arms I wish for you to become a doctor at the hospital, he asked with his slimy tone. Okay, she responded. Now then Kurama, I wish for you to be placed in a ninja squad, however there are no other ninja available to be placed in this squad, so I plan for you with the help of the Sound Four to infiltrate Konoha and bring Hinata, Haku, Ichigo and Hosenka to our village. A dark grin spread across Kurama's face as he nodded. However, I will note that when this team is formed your mother will be squad leader, also you will be paired with Hinata and Hosenka. Finally I will note we have a, he paused. Well, I would call it a gift, but that sound too sinister with my tone of voice, so I shall dub it a reward for your skills. What is it? Asked Kurama. Kushina will explain later. Anyway Anko, I know you and Kurama have sibling-like relationships, so I hope that you will encourage him and teach him new abilities. Also I have something for you as well, I will give it to you after Tsunade has left and Kurama and Kushina have left. She nodded. Underground chamber under the cage building. Mum, what's going on? Why have you brought me here? Asked the young Uzumaki. Trust me Kurama-kun, it will be worth it, she said as she opened the door. Inside there was a table. The room was clinical white, which was bizarre seeing as the hallway was made out of cobblestone. Inside the room there was a cabinet that had a glass display. There was various containers with labels in it. She took out 3 of them. Okay now son, this does sound weird, but I am gonna have to ask you to take your shirt off. This will allow me to access the seal. He nodded and laid on the table. She took out a purplish black ink with a brush and drew circle around the existing seal as well as 4 kanji for rebirth, power, destruction and jubi. Quickly the ink dried and Kushina then took out a needle. She took a needle full of a purple liquid and injected it into his body, though his arm. Purple chakra started to emanate from his body and his skin began to flake off but was regenerated by the purple chakra. His eyes rolled into his head. Kurama's mindscape. What is Kushina doing to us? Yelled the Kyuubi as its fur began to turn purple and his eyes went from red to a golden color. It can't take it anymore, he said before he savagely roared as all his fur became purple while he got onto his hind legs before slamming down, causing a tidal wave of blood to appear and cover Kurama, who had just watched. Cough, what the cough? He sputtered out as he got up from the sea of blood before looking at the new Kyuubi, which now had purple fur and yellow eyes. Hello there, Kit. The voice boomed. What's happened to you? I don't know, but the chakra I am feeling, this isn't my normal chakra, this is the Jubi's chakra. You mean the 10 tails? He nodded. What the whatever mum has done to me? Wait, Kushina's alive. He interrupted. Yeah, turns out Orochimaru the snake Sanin was in area and was having a exchange with Danzo for information he needed to get her out the way so he could try, keyword her being try, and get me into route. That prick. He yelled. I am gonna kill Danzo. Oh well. He started to calm down. I goose, you've joined Odo, but what of the Hyuga girl? We plan on taking her and Haku as well as a kid called Ichigo and a girl called Hosenka to the village. Interesting though, I have say my seal has disappeared from your body, probably cancelled out by the new purple chakra. He paused. Anyway, I felt that you're waking up by my son, said the adoptive father as Kurama woke up. Lab under the Hokage offices. What did you do to me? Asked Kurama. I injected you with the chakra-enhanced blood of the Jubi itself. What? How did you do that? I took small samples of chakra from all of the tailed beasts, just a tiny amount from either the sealing site or from the seal itself. Then I mixed them together using a ritual and created a small Jubi-like creature. I used my chakra chains to secure it and then took its blood, which was eradicated with its chakra. Then after experiments discovered how to create a curse seal with it and then how to change the tailed beast so it could generate its chakra and use the curse seal to suppress the negative effects of the chakra because it would turn the host into a demon-looking creature permanently. Luckily, once seal it becomes available to be temporarily active, she explained. I guess that's cool, so now Dad has the Jubi chakra and is as powerful, he said, making Kushina look confused. What do you mean by Dad? The Kyuubi adopted and trained during the time you were gone after a guy the first used to know tried to assassinate me. He looked down to the floor but then looked up. Anyway, he had seal on me, it disappeared. Interesting. Anyway, I am happy to say that there are 4 major benefits to the upgrade. The first is the ability to have complete control of tailed beast chakra by entering a sort of Biju chakra mode. The second is a curse seal. When active, this will increase your vitality, chakra reserves and allow you to absorb the resources needed for Sage Mode and other senjutsu. It has a failsafe to stop you from absorbing too much, but note that while in curse seal form you are completely unable to use Biju powers. Third is your new ability to summon the Kyuubi himself, well, at least the part you hold within him. However, the downside is that if I have my half of the Kyuubi active in the environment, you will be unable to summon him as the summon will be already active in a way. Fourth and the most interesting is your new dojutsu. She paused. The Rinnegan, making Kurama fall on his of all the extraordinary abilities has now gained, that one took the cake. You mean the Eye of the Sage of the 6 Paths, the god of the shinobi, the first ninja, creator of the Biju, savior of our world, the grandfather of Senju and Uchiha clans and the host of the 10 Tails itself. Yep. She blatantly said. Well, to be truthful to you, you would already be able to get it without the Biju chakra because that's our Kekkei Genkei. The Uzumaki clan has a dojutsu Kekkei Genkei, which, as I stated a moment ago, is the Rinnegan because we are a rift between the Uchiha and the Senju. Our clan was founded by a Uchiha and Senju couple who were sick of their clans bickering, so they left to where Uzushio was about to be founded and started a clan there. Unknown to them, because of them being of the 2 clans, they would have children capable of the Rinnegan because the children were directly related to the Senju and Uchiha clans. It would pass down to their kids. The couple had 5 children which all had the Rinnegan. 2 married Uchiha while another 2 married Senju clan members distant enough to be incest, of course, but their children to had the Rinnegan, and those kids had children with other clan members from the opposite clans until they became distant enough to have both Uzumaki clan members' relationships. Gross. Kurama frowned and interrupted. Anyway, because of this, the Rinnegan became strong enough in the clan genes. Even children of a Uzumaki and a member of any other clan were able to have 50-50 rate of getting the Rinnegan. However, because you have the Jubi chakra now inside of you, it is instantly awakened. Wow, that's just amazing. So now I can use the 6 paths, including the Diva path, Human path, Preta path, Outer path, Animal path, Naraka path and Asura path, he said as if he knew what he was talking about. Yeah, she said nervously. What's the matter? He responded concerned. It's just that you know so much. Well, actually, I have a fascination with the legends of the Sage of 6 Paths, and now I've discovered I am a member of his family. Kami, I am really lucky. Interesting. Anyway, you said I would unlock it anyway. Does that mean you have it too? Kushina smiled as she closed her eyes and reopened them, revealing her Rinnegan, causing his eyes to widen and slip over his feet. That's so awesome. Ya know. Suddenly Kurama's eyes turned purple, then the rings shot out from the purple eye until his entire eyeballs were covered in purple rings, making her fall on her. Holy shit, you have the Rinnegan already. Already. Usually the transformation takes around 2 years to fully develop, but you went straight to stage 4. Let me see your back. Kurama turned around, revealing a seal consisting of 5 tomoe in hexagram-like fashion. You have the curse mark as well. Try and draw from the Kyuubi chakra. He did so, but when he did, his body became engulfed with an aura of purple chakra and he created a cloak of purple chakra. His fox feature grew more noticeable and his eyes became slited, shifting out of his Rinnegan mode. He looked like the Biju chakra mode, except it was purple and white instead of orange and yellow. Holy shit, son. She paused, then she put her hand on his shoulder. I knew you were gonna be strong, but now I know for a fact that you're gonna be a truly powerful ninja that is worth the name of Uzumaki and the 9-tailed Biju, but most importantly, you're my son. She hugged him, and I am proud to call you son and have the title of mother to you. She hugged her close. I am sorry I wasn't able to mother you or raise you. It's okay, mum, it's the village's fault, not your, and when I am stronger I am gonna burn it to the ground, making Kushina smile evilly as she rubbed her son's hair. Atta boy, smiled Kurama almost like he did before the Ruka incident. Konoha High Street. It had been chaos in the last month for the Hyuga clan. Suddenly they were without a clan head, and Hinata was too young to be one, as she was only 13 and 16 was the age a clan head could be appointed. The only one that could be clan head now was either Hinata's mother, but she was deceased, or possibly Neji's mother, but that was unlikely thanks to the elders and their beliefs of the cursed mark. At the moment the Hyuga clan was going insane with no Hokage to settle the dispute. The main and secondary branch were beginning to mount tension. Not like Hinata cared, she was the one who killed her own father. While Hanabi was fraught with grief, Hinata continued to train and kept on disappearing into the forest to train away from the village. Hinata and Haku had become good friends and discovered that they both had water affinities. Hinata also discovered she had a earth affinity, allowing her to use mud release. She theorized that affinities have something to do with clans, as she knew that her clan were known for their water jutsu. While the earth must have come from her new aggressive personality, which nobody failed to not notice. Everybody was worried for once about the clan heiress, but not because they were generally concerned, of course, it was in reality because they were worried that they could no longer sway her in their favor. However, the most disgusting thing, the Hyuga resorted to his get Kurenai to be temporal sensei so they could pay her to use genjutsu to make Hinata forget about Kurama. The problem was she was unaffected by the jutsu. Hinata was getting more and more angrier at the village because the village believed him to be dead. It had been a month since he had left and never returned with Anko. I'll show them Kuramamaru-kun is still alive, thought Hinata as she walked down to the ramen shop. Ever since Kurama took her to the ramen shop, she had developed a taste for the stuff, mostly an ironically red miso ramen with extra Naruto maki, an ingredient used in ramen dishes even if Naruto was no longer his real name. Hey there, Hinata, asked Ayame. Hey Ayama, responded Hinata as she sat down. The usual, Hinata nodded. One red miso ramen with extra Naruto maki coming up, she yelled to her father. After 2 or 3 minutes, an Ayame arrived with Hinata's food. After Hinata ate 2 bowls, she put down a sack of Ryo coins and left. Kuramamaru-kun, I will find you, was her last thought as she returned home. Hyuga Estate. After returning from the high street to her home in the Hyuga estate, the Hyuga heir sat on her bed as she looked at a framed photo of her and Kurama just before the mission to the land of waves and the other with Kurama recovering in the hospital. Otogakur Orochimaru's labs. Orochimaru was walking down with Anko down a pathway and entered a room. As she entered, she sat on a chair while she was uncomfortable. She realized this wasn't like the other lab. Well, at least there were no scream able to be heard. Orochimaru went to a table, but before he started with Anko, he used his fingers to slide open a seal on the wall which disappeared. Hyuga estate. Hinata began to feel an incredible burning feeling coming from the back of her neck. When she put her hand to heal it, the burning worsened. She began to scream out in pain as the seal moved to her right arm and replaced itself under the shoulder. Once done, the seal began to mutate. It now became a kanji for love and had a circle around it segmented into 4 parts and had a black swirl where the segmented part was. The kanji was covered up by swirl that was almost identical to the Uzumaki clan symbol. Kuramamaru-kun, I knew it, I knew you were alive. She whispered as she looked at her new seal, which beared an uncanny resemblance to the Uzumaki clan symbol. She began to leave to train as she didn't like to stay in the estate for too long. As she left, Hanabi appeared. Fight me, said second Hyuga heiress. No, Hinata bluntly replied as she tried to get past. Fight me, she said, getting her way. It, thought Hinata. Fine. They both went down to Jukin and Hanabi was knocked out. Training Ground 7. Fight me, Sasuke asked to Hinata. No, she again bluntly replied as she tried to get past. Fight me, he said, getting in the way. It, thought Hinata. Fine, and Sasuke was knocked out. Medical ward. Otogakur. Tsunade was having a hard time stomaching the disgusting ways they treated illnesses in the Sound Village. Her main problem was they usually were using animal organs and bone and extracting small amounts of ingredients for medicine. However, most of the time they were snakes. Of course, either way it was not good, not to mention most of the doctor were sadistic, ill-prepared, or both. The nurses were surprisingly helpful, and Kabuto, while being Orochimaru apprentice, was incredibly helpful. She was close. She needed to find out 4 more key components, that being why skin was no longer regenerating, the flesh destruction, lack of cartilage, and why they almost like there was no chakra in them. She fixed the pain with a complex painkiller using many different chemicals and a follow-up prescription. Training Area 8. Otogakur. Kurama was training how to activate his curse seal. According to his mother, the seal would not activate on will. At first the user needed to let the seal set down and then begin to train how to activate it, usually by thinking of something that make you getting angry. It is cursed seal of hatred, ya know. Otogakur. Orochimaru's labs. Anko was currently seal inside the box going through the second part of the cursed seal of hatred as Orochimaru went through a couple of things, knowing that in around 3 minutes that a new Anko was so soon to emerge. Soon smoke began to emanate from the box as the seal disappeared and the planks began to unfold one by one. When the purple-haired woman stood up, she now had long purple hair that was a tad darker. Her yes had become golden snake-like eyes. Her skin was brown like Yuya and her lips had transformed so she looked like she had purple lipstick on or something. She then grew bat-like wings except with no flesh in between them, making them more bone-like in appearance. Think a winged Yoroichi. Anko-chan. He eyes were closed at first. Yes, she responded as her eyes opened with a tad bit more of a seductive tone. Aren't gonna be in her until a while, so don't think this is the start of one. How are you? Felling, his voice actually filled with concern for once for one of his subjects. Amazing, though my shoulder still hurts. Probably due from the stress. It should fade in an hour or two. Suddenly he fell to his knees as his hands began to sting. Orochimaru-sensei, she gasped, forgetting she but the suffix on the end. My hands. He peeked a look though the bandages, and to his horror his purple mark began to grow up his arms. It's spreading. What on earth it's spreading? He struggled to explain as the pain grew deeper. Orochimaru-sensei, we need to get you to Tsunade. Yes, grumbled Orochimaru as he nodded as they left Otogakur Hospital. Tsunade was still puzzled by his arms. The old fart really did a good job of up the snake Sanin's arms. She still couldn't understand what happened. It almost like the snake Nin's chakra had been severed or something like that. Then a nurse came in. Apparently the Otokage's case has gotten worse. Tsunade and the other nurse groaned in anger. Fine, I am going to check up on the case. Shizune and Aki come with me, they nodded as they left. Otokage's office. Orochimaru, let me see your arms, asked Tsunade as she busted into the office. Here, Orochimaru put out his arms and revealed the growing purple markings. Damn it. This is not good. Whatever Sarutobi did to you, it's spreading. It's like my chakra and soul are being sapped from my body. Wait, I've got it. Maybe, just maybe, what you're saying is right. I wish I could get a person with the Byakugan, then I could check if the chakra network was actually severed. Well, you see, this was this girl I was looking into and she had the Byakugan, so I could get a team to retrieve her. Tsunade looked at him displeased but understanding. Look, I am not gonna do anything dangerous to her. Besides, Kushina told me the girl is Kurama's girlfriend. She nodded, reassured he wasn't gonna use her for one of his experiments. Fine, as long as it's fast. Sure, Kushina, get the sound 5. Your son and Kabuto were going to retrieve the new sound 5 feet. New sound 5. Yes, well, I've planned on getting more extraordinary ninja into the village, and you see the current group have been to an extent failed me on multiple occasions. I am not going to kill them, but I need more powerful ninja in the village, not that we have failed to destroy Konoha. Tsunade nodded slowly, still wondering whether she was doing the right thing, while Kushina left to get her son. Meanwhile, Kurama was training in the training ground. So far, he was upgrading the Shadow Blade using the new purple chakra he gained from the seal and learning how to activate it. So far, he could do state 1 but not 2. He was told that his new powers would unlock at a steady pace. He automatically gained Jubi mode and was able to use the first state. The other abilities will come later, including the other stages of the Rinnegan. The Rinnegan was separated into 6 stages, and at the moment he only was able to use the Diva Path, allowing him to use Almighty Push but nothing else. Kurama was practicing when 4 ninja appeared. The first was a fat one with a bizarre haircut, the second was a woman, she had long red hair but was in tomboyish fashion, the third was a bizarre man with 4 extra arm appendages, and the last was a bizarre man that almost looked like they were 2 people melded together. The 4 watched him practice, not really impressed until he decided to use his yokai chakra and enter Jubi mode. Instantly they were flabbergasted. They only knew one person able to summon the purple yokai energy, and that was Kushina the Red Reaper, or Purple Blaze as she was known to the Otogakur nins. What the hell, how can he? Said the redhead. Only Kushina-sama can do that, said the large one. No shit, Jirobo, you fatty. To Yuya. Shut it. Both of you pack it in. Let's see what the kid can do, said Sakin. The 4 watched as the red-headed Uzumaki air charged his hand with the purple yokai, creating a missile of some sort out of chakra and yokai, and fired it into the trees in front of him. The first 98 trees were destroyed as it came close towards them, then it exploded in a dome of energy that devoured 100 more trees, not including the 22 trees from before. Their jaws dropped in display of war power that had shot his hands, but then he did it again and again and again and again and again. By the time he stopped, the forest was almost as completely destroyed as the Valley of the End. Actually, hell, it was probably worse. Jesus Christ, I hope I never get put on his team. I think couldn't stand sitting next to a person so powerful, said the scared shitless to Yuya. Then she paused. Do you have to swear off? You can come out now, declared the redhead. Said Jirobo. I thought you didn't like swearing, teased to Yuya. Shut the hell up, the both of you, said Sakin as they landed on the ground. Who are you? Asked the redhead. We are the sound 4. This to Yuya, points to the redhead. Jirobo, points to the fatty, points to the spider guy, and I am Sakin. Cool, was Kurama's unimpressed response. Suddenly Kushina appeared. All of the 4 bowed and said, Kushina-sama, while Kurama's response was a simple, "What's up, mum?" he said to long-haired redhead. All of the sound 4 fell on their ass. Wait, you're Kushina-sama's son? He nodded. Then you're my. She paused. Half-brother. Huh, wait, half-brother, what's going on, mum? This isn't the first time I've been called a half-brother. What's going on? Wait, there's been a second. Kushina said as she became wide-eyed. Yeah, during the invasion of Konoha, Gaara of the Sand said you were his mother. Gaara? She whispered. So what happened? Well, the thing is, I rather not explain in front of them other than you and half-sister. The other 3 nodded and shushed away. Look, what happened is that Suna had a sub-village there. I infiltrated the sub-village. It mainly consisted of monks who looked after the one-tailed Shukaku. There I planned to rise up in their ranks and gain access to the seal that locked away the tailed beast and leave at night. However, fate had other plans as I fell in love with a samurai guard there. After 2 or 3 years we had Tuya who grew up until was 3, then we had a second which was Gara. However, the monks were catching onto my plan. The samurai was also in on it, was captured and was killed. I was so angry I lost control and destroyed a major part of the village. After regaining control I used the carnage I had created as a distraction as an attempt to gain the chakra. I did so, but as I was doing it the village leader arrived and injured me. While I was injured the seal completely opened and realized the demon. They sealed the demon in Gara, but my carnage along with the demon destroyed the town. However, they successfully sealed the demon in Gara. After they separated me from my second son I left with Tyuya and believed he was dead as he was very frail at the time. She explained what happened. So then Gara and Tuya's father are dead, she nodded. So then you're my half-brother, the redhead said to the redhead who nodded. So then I guess mum taught you tons of jutsu, she nodded. Wow kid, I like you already have my potty mouth, she grinned while Kushina scowled but motherly, worrying if that grow into a habit like her daughter. So why are you here in the first place, mum? Oh, it's because Orochimaru wanted to retrieve Hinata. Suddenly a grin of unimaginable happiness spread across Kurama's face. HB, what's up with Hinata girl? She's my girlfriend. Tyuya smirked at Kurama's comment. Luckily Hinata, she responded after getting her half-brother in a headlock and rubbing his head with her hand. Hyuga Estate. In the Hyuga Estate the young girl sneezed herself awake. After blowing her nose she immediately went into a depression about Kurama. Each passing day she was getting more and more depressed. She continued to do D ranks, but now she was reclusive and stayed in her bedroom when she was not training or doing D ranks. Soon she was going to be so sad she was going to cry herself to death. Suna. 2 figures were traveling in a desert. One had long blonde hair reminiscent of a Yamanaka, the other was some sort of puppet. They moved along the desert wearing long black robes with red cloud emblems placed on them. They were agents of the Akatsuki and their target was Gara Uzumaki. Suna. 2 figures were walking away from the village in sand. They had their prize, the adopted son of the 4th Kazekage Gara of the sand. The child had been kidnapped while he was recovering from the injuries he gained from Sasuke Uchiha. The 2 cloaked figures were planning on ripping the one-tailed tanuki beast of his stomach when a cloaked woman appeared. The cloak was black and she wore a hood concealing her identities. She rose a fist and slammed it into the ground. The 2 men dodged the growing crater but were punched by the woman in the stomach. Each incredibly fast she caught the boy who was falling to the ground as he was dropped by the midair Deidara. The woman unmasked herself to be Kushina Uzumaki, the host of the Jubi Chakra-infused 9-tailed fox. The woman placed the boy on the ground gently and took out her sword. After 2-3 minutes they were weakened but they escaped on one of Deidara's clay birds. The woman turned to the boy and picked him up. She then used a special kunai to teleport back to Otogakure. Otogakure Hospital. Within a day expectedly Gara awakened from his sleep. In front of him were Kuramaru Uzumaki, Tuya Uzumaki and Kushina Uzumaki. The 3 smiled at him. Yo, what's up bro? Said Tuya, making Gara raise an eyebrow. Bro? He questioned. Well she started scratching the back of her head. After explaining everything Gara was very shocked to say the least but didn't know any other emotion that he could put a finger on. He was sad, happy, furious, rageful, happy, upset, happy, regretful and happy. Either way he could not understand what he felt. So then that makes us half-brothers, said Kuramaru. And who are you? He asked. It's me Kurama, he frowned. Sorry I did not recognize you. So I guess you ditched that Namikaze blonde and dyed it Uzumaki red. The former blonde nodded in response to the redhead. You know you could let blonde appear on the tips that make you look badass, Tuya added. Oh yeah, of course, started Kushina. Now that you're a Otogakure nin, we have promoted you to Chunin like your brother and are sending you on a mission to retrieve Hinata Hyuga, Haku Momochi, Hosenka Aburame and Ichigo Gohan from the weakened Konoha with the Sound 5, which includes Tuya along with Kurama and Kabuto. She explained. Gara nodded. Okay, now excuse me, I need to brief the others, she said. I want to stay but you're leaving first thing tonight, she said before leaving. After she left the 3 stayed and continued to talk. So are you gonna miss your friends? Asked Kurama instantly. Gaara tightened his grip on the sheets. Too many memories of being shunned and hated came into his mind. His anger and insanity began to grow, but he relented when he remembered he now had a family. Brother, I think you can think what it was like being a tailed beast host. A miserable, hate-filled, lonely existence, he said bluntly. Yes. Hell, I wish somebody I knew had good childhood, exclaimed Kurama. Well, those bastards are gonna pay. Trust me, one day we are going to destroy Konoha, Tayuya said to the former blonde, causing a devilish grin to appear on his face. Otogakur entrance. So then this is the team? Asked Orochimaru as he looked at Kabuto, the Sound 4, Kuramamaru and Gaara. Kushina nodded. Very well, now go, he said as they disappeared. Konoha. Hinata was walking down the street towards the bridge they usually reside by when meeting up for mission. She came late because she knew Kakashi was going to be late, and as she arrived she was told they had to find Tora. After finding Tora, Hinata made her way home. She was excelling past what anybody thought she could do, but she was frustrated with where Kurama was. At the moment she would do anything to see him again. As she walked home, 7 shadow-like figures stood on a water tank watching her walk back into the Hyuga estate. Split Up Spider Boy and Fatso find Ichigo, Double Guy and Four Eyes find Haku, Gaara find Hosenka. Me and the Uzumaki heir will get his girlfriend, said the Tayuya as they sped up. Hyuga family mansion. The Hyuga heiress slumped onto her bed and bellowed her head into the pillows she had on her bed. Then there was a knock on the window. She walked up to it, ripping away the tears she had on her face as she opened. Then a red-headed boy entered her room, turned around and said, "Peanut butter and jelly ramen." Instantly the boy was floured by the girl. "Kuramamaru-kun," she yelled as she tackled him in a hug. "Whoa, hold on there," he said as they got up. What's the matter?" He looked at the Hyuga heiress, who was upset. "Where were you?" she said as she shoved him away. "You just disappeared on that mission with Anko-sensei to find Tsunade-sama and never came back. I was so worried about you. I thought you might have died. You've been gone for 2 weeks. Everyone thought you died. Hell, some wished you were. I was so lonely," she said, upset. She was about to continue, but then Kurama grabbed her and hugged her in loving embrace. "Kuramamaru-kun. Hinata-chan. Yo, what up?" said the red-headed woman, abruptly breaking the moment. "Who's she?" asked Hinata. "She's my half-sister," explained Kurama. "Wait, so your mum is alive?" He nodded. "Holy shit, where is she?" "Otogakur." Her eyes widened. "But that's where Orochimaru is." "I know." He released his genjutsu, revealing his Otogakur headband. "But I thought." "I know, but think about it. My mum and my half-siblings live there. I can't give that up." "But I can't give you up." "Okay, I'll come with you to," she interrupted. "But I wasn't finished." "I know, but I can't live without you, and if you're gonna live there, then I will live there with you. Beside, it's less likely my sister will have the curse seal put on her if I leave." "I see. Well then grab your things, we leave at midnight," she nodded. "Konoha mining facility. So then this is how we're leaving, through the old mining grounds," said Hinata. "Yeah, this is how we got in, but also how Otogakur invaded during the invasion," explained Kurama. "Anyway, let's leave quickly. It's not long till my clan will find I haven't returned to the clan estate," explained Hinata. "Right, Ichigo, Hosenka, Haku, let's go. Remember, Kimimaro, you're on the back defense. Fatso, you're on the right. I am in front, and Sakin, you're on left," explained Tayuya. They all nodded as they left. Hyuga estate. Hanabi walked into Hinata's bedroom and turned the light on. Big sis," she said as she walked in. She realized she wasn't there, so she checked her normal places, including the living room or the large tree in the estate. "What's the matter, Hanabi-sama? I can't find big sis." She's usually here about now." 10 minutes later. "Where is the heiress?" one yelled. "Where is Hinata-sama?" another screamed. Shit, never trust orange juice flavored Robert Downey Jr., one said in the fetal position. Needless to say, the estate was ablaze in worry. They talked to the council and they sent Anbu and Root Nins to find her, but none could find them. Also, several other reports say that various other individuals, all of whom have had known contact with Orochimaru during the Forest of Death or prelims while the Chunin exams were taking place. The council said that Orochimaru must have kidnapped them and appointed the newly promoted Shikamaru to create a 5-man squad on retrieving her and the other 3. Shikamaru chose Choji, because he was skilled, Sasuke, as his Sharingan would be useful, and asked for Kakashi Hatake to come with them as a Jonin would help a lot, as well as he could also keep Sasuke under control along with the fact he could summon dogs to track them, and also asked for Sakura to come because of her newly developed medical jutsu. Finally Rock Lee was also taken. Now they were heading out to follow the 4 curse-marked warriors and the other 4 cursed-marked warriors. Mining facility. "Ah, we're out," said Kurama. "Okay, we need to talk. Look, we need to upgrade your curse seal by taking one of these pills. You will start procedure, however you will temporarily die." "Pass them over," said Ichigo, a young boy around 12. He had long black hair, yellow eyes with 4 tomoe in them and normal features expect from his sharp nose, and wore a Chunin vest with a red shirt and baggy trousers. "I love that song." "Me too," said Hosenka. She was a young girl about 14. She wore a long and large jacket and wore a white vest along with a pair of cargo jeans. All in all, she looked like a smaller version of Anko. Expect that Hosenka and long flowing raven black hair. Haku just shrugged. Each took one of the pills and ate it. The ritual was completed. Hosenka's barrel was given to Tayuya, Hinata's to Kuramaru, Ichigo's to Kimimaro, and Haku's to Sakin. They then began to travel into their forest while Gaara was getting used to his state 1, so he couldn't do anything, otherwise he would be injured. Half-hour later. "Come on, she's this way." There more sense appearing as get closer. One's a girl that smells a bit like Kurama and Gaara, the other a dude that reminds me way too much of spiders, another is a rather fat person, another is a guy with 2 scents very alike, hard to tell apart. On about 4 other kids, each smell like they have a Kekkei Genkei. In fact, one smells like she has a underdeveloped Sharingan. Sasuke's eyes widen. That's impossible. "Well, never say never, kid. Look, I might be wrong. It's not like I often smell a Sharingan user, is it?" he said before pausing. "What is it?" asked Sakura. "I smell Kuramaru. But I thought he died. I am sure I can smell him. It's different now though, a smell I never smelt before." "Then is that really him?" "Yes, I am sure. His smell remind me of foxes mixed with humans, so I am always sure it's him." "Fine, let's go," said Kakashi. "I actually hope he's alive so I can kill him." An hour later, deep in the forest, the 7 were traveling across the forest at a steady pace. Note: if you didn't know, Kimimaro is with them as well as Gaara. Suddenly Kunai appeared from everywhere, but Jirubo created a shield out of the earth to protect them. Then he dispersed. In front of them was Kakashi Hatake, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Shikamaru Nara along with Choji. The 5 instantly saw Kuramaru with them and were shocked that the self-proclaimed future 5th Hokage would betray the village. "So it's true you didn't die," said Sakura. "But why are you those with Odo Nins? Why are you betraying the leaf?" "Oh, Sakura, tell me, are you a orphan?" "No," she said questioningly, thinking that he was nuts as he already knew the AWNSER. "Well, imagine if you were, and then suddenly you could meet your family. Would you honestly, even if it means leaving everything, not go?" he explained, making Sasuke's eyes scowl harder than they already were. "Well, of course I would go." "Well, then you have your answer." Her eyes widened. "Then who are your parents?" "Well, if first and foremost," he began to laugh, "the ironic thing is I am the son of the 4th Hokage, yet here I am betraying the village." They were all shocked. "I mean, come on, Kakashi, blonde spiky hair and blue eyes, you have to be dumb to not to notice." "I knew, but considering what you are, I have no pity for you." "Oh, what that I am some demon?" he laughed. "Because of the Kyuubi. Let's be serious here, the Kyuubi didn't make me into some monster, your village did." He paused, then appeared behind Kakashi and snapped his neck, killing him. "Oh, Kami!" yelled Sakura while Sasuke stood horrified with Shikamaru and Choji. Then Kurama jumped to a tree branch to avoid the incoming kunai from Shikamaru. Jirobo jumped from the tree trunk, landed down, slammed the ground, and created a dome around them and began to suck the chakra from them dry. "You guys take them and get out off here. I'll take these guys on and eat all their chakra," grinned the fatty. "Fine, you fat piece of shit. Come on, guys," Tayuya said as she grabbed the container on his back. "Sure." Kurama nodded as they left. Meanwhile in Konoha. So then we have chosen the new Hokage. The new Hokage will be Forest. Kurama was running through the forest with Sound 5 while the cursed marked fatty was sucking the chakra dry of the 4 nins. Inside they were struggling to get out until Shikamaru realized that the dome chakra is mostly depleted at the back. Using several jutsu and plans they became free. What, how did you escape? Hey, wouldn't you like to know? Said Shikamaru. Not like it's gonna do you any good, you're gonna get hammered, said Jirobo. Shika, Sasuke, Sakura, Lee, get out of here, I've got this, said Choji. Are you sure? Asked Sakura. Don't worry, Sakura, for power of youth will enlighten his past and grant incredible power for those that youthful. Okay, she replied. Choji, I am giving you one order. Don't die. Choji gave a reassuring grin. No problem. Then they disappeared, leaving Choji to fight with Jirubo. Some friends, they are leaving you to get beaten up like this. You can call me anything you want, a idiot, stupid, he paused, fatbutt, he paused, don't ever insult my friends. Hey, sure thing, kiddo, now let me just kick the shit out of you so I can get on my way, he grinned as he leapt towards him. Forest. Why would Naruto do that? I know we weren't on the best of terms, but. Sakura, I know you what you're thinking, but what's ever happened to Naruto or Kurama, whatever his name is, it's not good, said Sasuke. Well, it's not exactly like he had good life anyway, said Shikamaru. What do you mean? The first time I meet him was when, he paused.